This is my report for today, retention and motivation. Dissatisfaction isn't always about pay or the compensation. There are other reasons behind. So the job description of an HR consultant is reviewing HR strategic plan and systems of small to medium companies. So the reviewing strategic plan and system. Then, after reviewing, pag human og review, maghatag ta og recommendations on how to improve. Then, we look into issues. So, atong tan-awon sa mga issue, sa mga problem, for us to give or to provide plans to improve retention. This is my report for today, retention and motivation. Because the goal of such a company is to improve retention. There are reasons why there is turnover. One of it is one person managing payrolls and benefit. Two in one. Individual managers in the organizations are the ones who handle other HR aspects like recruiting and developing compensation plans. So, these are the possible reasons nga maka-cause og burnout. No? Kanang over ang iyahang responsibility sa iyahang job description. Okay, from Leigh Branham, according to her, the cost of losing an employee can range from 25% to 200% of that employee's salary. So 25%, no, gikan sa 25 modako siya to 200%. This is my report for today, retention and then the cost of turnover. So turnover is losing an employee. There is turnover of responsibility. There is turnover of obligation because you lose an employee. So the cost of turnover, customer service disruptions. There is loss of morale, no? Ubos ang moral or nawala ang moral sa other employees, among other employees. There is burnout of other employees. There is the cost of hiring someone new. The cost of hiring someone new. So there are two types of turnover na duha ka klase. The voluntary turnover and that means this kind of turnover is initiated by the employee for many different reasons. Na asay gininghawa siya, ni-resign siya, or nag-turnover siya. We lost an employee because of such different reasons. Okay, involuntary turnover, the employee has no choice in their termination. So na-terminate siya. Okay, maybe contractual or na siya'y mga na-violate. Okay, so again, the two types of turnover is the voluntary turnover that is initiated by the employee. Involuntary turnover, the employee has no choice of their termination. This is my report for today, retention and he or she is being terminated. Turnover can be calculated by separation. We have the formula, the time period, month divided by total number of employees, mid-month times 100 because this is percentage of turnover. Okay, for example, there were 3 separations during the month of August and 115 employees mid-month. So the solution, 3 divided by 115 times 100, that results to the turnover rate of 2.6%. So we have the direct turnover cost, the cost of living, replacement cost, and the transition costs. So costs of living. So mag-replace ka, then na transition because you will be training, you will be giving or mangita pa ka, mag-hire pa ka og bag-o nga employee. Indirect turnover cost, loss of production and reduced performance. So it is affected indirectly. The production and the performance is. This is my report for today. Retention and more affected. So we have examples of turnover cost, like recruitment of replacements, administrative hiring costs, lost productivity that is associated with the time between the loss of the employee, no? Dili ka productive, ubos ang imong productivity because of turnover or ni-resign mong employee. In between that and hiring a new employee, loss of productivity due to a new employment learning the job. New employee, that is learning the job. Then lost productivity associated with co-workers helping the new employee. The cost of training, syempre, there will be training costs. Okay. It's like allowance for the new hired employee, costs associated with the employee's lack of motivation prior to leaving, the cost of trade secrets and property information, propriety information shared by the employee who leaves, and there is public relation costs. So, dili yun na to malikayan na ang propriety information or the trade secrets will be shared by the employee who resigned. This is my report for today, retention and more. Then, retention plan outline. The strategies the organization will use to reduce turnover. So, muna siyang ni-result sa review of the strategic plan and system. Bali mo ni siya ang recommendations. Mo ni ang observations. Direct. There is recruitment costs, advertising costs for new positions, orientation and training for new hired employee, severance cost, testing cost, time to interview new replacements, time to recruit and train new hires. So that is the direct costs. Indirect, you lost knowledge, loss of productivity while new employee is brought up to speed, cost associated with lack of motivation prior to leaving, then cost associated with loss of trade secrets. So these are what the recommendations, what you have observed, plan outline. This is my report for today, retention and more. Okay, we have reasons for voluntary turnover. We have 5. Okay, poor match between the job and the skills of the employee. That is the usual thing that happen. So, ang skill wa ni match sa iyang job description, or the job description is too many for the skill of the employee you have hired. No? Okay, because mingon ng employee pag interview, I am willing to learn. Maski dili siya qualified for that position, so gigrab niya ang opportunity. Okay? Lack of growth. Eternal pay equity. Internal pay equity. So, madako or gamay. Gamay ako ang ihatag sa mo kay di man ka fit in ani, but you are willing to learn. O, nakaginansya ang company or naganansi ang employee. That is why there is burnout. But it's not, again, it's not about the compensation or the pay. Management. Sometimes the management pressures or there is mismanagement and the workload. Daliman ka, two in one. So one position, you have a lot of responsibilities more than your job description. So that ends my report. Thank you. This is my report for today, retention and